Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. We are live. Yes, we are. I'm wearing my "Don't Eat, Don't Don't Eat the Homies" T-shirt, and today we're gonna be doing something a little bit different. VPM and I, we set up this. Hello, Richard Smith. Hello, Bo Animo. We set up this Chat GPT. And we're gonna be testing the values of non-vegans with using ChatGPT. So let's see if that works nicely. We will have to wait for VPM to join. Let me see if okay, VPM has a Google Meet. Perfect, perfect. Allow. Okay, sorry everybody. It's gonna the setup is gonna take a little bit, but it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Hello, Jason Gut, Dandelion Gum, David, the 40-year-old vegan, awesome. VPM, I just joined the Google Meet. Hey, Pia, nice to see you. Valentine. Oh, yeah, I can see you. Okay. So wait, before you mute yourself, let me first put you here. Okay, hide myself. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. Cool. Wait.
Cheap, but the conversation there is fucking terrible.
I heard some of it, and I'm like, what the hell's going on there?
Bro, I'm like brain rot on both sides. The vegan is wrong as well. He beat a bullet that he shouldn't have bitten, and he only beats that bullet. Anyways, doesn't matter.
Okay,
Fuck me.
let me add. Okay, this is meat. I'll say. Okay. Oh damn! Not this window capture. Okay, not my calendar. Not
Yeah.
ChatGPT. We already have ChatGPT.
By the way, I'll be right back. I need to pee something crazy and get some
Unacceptable.
more coffee. See you later in a
Unacceptable.
second.
Yeah, unacceptable. Okay, we got VPM and me. Okay, let's put this somehow. Let me make this window somehow that it works. I think like this. I think this is as good as it gets, everyone. You'll see me a little bit smaller, but that's okay. That's okay. This isn't about me. This isn't about me. It's about, doing this beautiful stream that we're going to be doing, which is going to be an interesting one, I think. Let's see if we manage to actually do this and show people their logical inconsistencies. So just gonna put it like this. Can everybody see the screen okay? Is everything okay like this? Is everybody seeing everything nicely? I think I've arranged it pretty okay. How long am I going for today? Asks David. Hey Jake Laivatare. Martin is also here, by the way. Jason Gott, nice. Panicking, yeah, VPM has gone. That's we don't know what to do. Oh, maybe I should change my name here so that not everybody sees my full name here. Damn it. I don't know how to change my name. Fuck it. Everybody will see my name. I don't care. It's my name. Let me see. Change layout settings. General. Captions. Damn it. No. I don't know how to remove. Does anybody use Google Meet? Do they know how to change that name? How to remove that name or something? Shit. No, not that. I guess what I could do is let's do this. Let's try. Let's try it, everybody. I'm sorry. Party is chip house. Let's go. Yeah, sure. Remove this tile. Shalabam. But then you see myself small. Maybe I can say so that you don't see myself anymore. I'm sorry, everybody. We're working. We're working here. We're trying to make it as nice as possible when we're doing this. Postmortem. How did you change your name?
What do you mean? No, that was a Zoom meeting.
Okay, but how did you change it here? How do you change it here? Is it in Google? Do I have to change it in Google?
I don't know. I think
That's okay. I just hit it like this. I put the window a little bit on top. That's okay.
yeah, that would be a good idea.
So
I think probably in settings though, like you can get some settings going. Maybe.
yeah, it's okay. It's okay. People can see me. They can see my face. I'm so I'm gonna connect to Discord. Shall I mute here? We shall mute here, right?
We shall, and go back to that place. Jesus Christ.
Okay, let's hear those interesting conversations.
Word for Slav, because the Slavs first ethnically traded people.
Hold on, sorry, I gotta cut this off. VPM and Chip had a plan today, and it's nearing that time, so we gotta end this discussion, and we gotta let them do their thing, because this was a pre-planned thing. So I'm sorry, you guys can pick this up
that's
another
fine.
time.
I'm gonna go catch a catfish here in a little bit. I'm gonna cut its head off right for you, buddy.
Yeah, that's how it usually ends.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, people in Africa makes a claim can't do this thing. So me in America, I can't do this either, so I'm gonna go slaughter a sentient. That's how it goes.
He's gonna go generally mutilate some baby girl.
Yeah, we don't even need to use ChatGPT here to see the fellation. Right.
Yeah,
but
we don't.
We
will.
Yeah. Anybody wants to present an argument?
So just to make things clear for everybody, I did share I am streaming here on Discord, also on my YouTube channel for full disclosure. If anybody is interested in saying what they have against veganism, we'll essentially be taking their arguments and putting them through ChatGPT and see what the logical fallacy is there.
If there is any, maybe today we find out that there are arguments against veganism that are not logically.
Yeah, maybe it will all be good.
Yeah. Anybody wants to step up? Nobody?
Everybody's scared. ChatGPT is highly intelligent. We all know that. Are you smarter than ChatGPT? Let's see.
Well, it's not even that. Is your argument fallacious?
Yeah, that's the point. Right? Yeah.
You can't be smarter than ChatGPT.
No, yeah, for sure. No, I'm just trying, to bait people in. Really, I'm really trying to be a little bit of a dick and to bail people in. So come on, everybody. You know you can.
Oh yeah, be a dick.
Be the dick.
So I can say easily that if you have any argument against veganism, it will probably be fallacious. Does everybody agree with it?
Yes.
I agree with that last statement, Chip. Absolutely.
Damn it, everybody agrees.
Damn, what are we gonna do? Axel, can we open like a event or something? Is that possible?
I already did. Yep, I already did. It's running right now.
So we might get joined by people.
Yeah, so when people will join, we'll have people who disagree.
It's up and running. However, there is like, how many people are in here? There should be more people. There should be somebody who speaks up. There's like over 20 people in here.
Yeah, why is everybody sitting here without saying anything? Come on. Speak your mind.
Here is the thing, right? Nothing absolutely horrific is gonna happen if you find out that your argument is fallacious.
Yeah.
All that would mean that you used the wrong argument. That's it.
Yeah, and you might
Or you
need
can
to.
refine your argument, right?
Okay. Why doesn't hold on? Why doesn't Conan start this off for us? Conan
shit.
usually. Come on, Conan. If you were so sound in your arguments, let's see if you can beat ChatGPT.
Yeah, I was just getting my mic.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
Conan should have some good answers.
This is gonna be a weird one for sure. Let's go. I think we've all had conversations with Conan. We all know what to expect.
Yeah, now
this will be two. Well, hold on. This will be two non-empathetic beings, so you know this shall be interesting.
Okay.
So how are we doing this?
An argument.
Yeah, so let's put it this way. I'll just tell you what the definition of veganism is, right? Veganism is the moral position, the moral principle of rejecting animal exploitation as much as it's possible and practicable. What issue do you have with it?
With the definition.
Well, with veganism, not with the definition. That's the definition of veganism. I'm assuming you're not vegan, so then you may have an issue with veganism.
It's simply that I don't hold that principle. I don't have to hold every principle that exists.
Okay. Do you think it's?
So what would be your argument against holding that principle?
I don't like it.
Hold on, Conan. Could you just make an argument? Like you just say, I have no opinion on anything.
Wait. Let's put it this way, Conan. Do you think that the fact that you don't... Let's put it this way, Conan. Do you think that the fact that you don't like veganism makes it moral to not be vegan?
If you want to call that a fact, it's not in fact the fact, because fact needs to be true and feeling.
You said you don't like it.
Okay.
You said you don't like it, therefore it's a fact.
I'm trying to understand your
point,
to put it into the right. I'm not vegan because I don't like it.
Let's try that.
Yeah, because I don't want to be better.
Because I don't want to be better.
No, because I don't want to be vegan.
Because I don't want to be vegan. I'm not vegan because I don't want to be vegan.
Okay. Well, yes. That's changed.
Okay, so okay. I'm not vegan because I don't want to be vegan. I mean, I already see a lot of logical fallacies in the statement, but let's see. Yeah, of course, begging the question or the circular reasoning. This is when somebody uses their conclusion as their reason, saying, I'm not vegan because I don't want to be vegan, just repeats the same idea in different words. Imagine saying, I'm not going to clean my room because I don't want to clean my room. That doesn't explain why. It just restates what you're doing. Appeal to desire. This fallacy is when somebody treats personal want as if justifies everything. Like saying, I want cake for breakfast, so it's good for me. Wanting something doesn't make it right or fair thing to do, especially when others are harmed by it. So, what do you think about that?
Just two fallacies. I'm kind of impressed, actually.
Yeah, let's go first circular. We can discuss that, but because in the end, everything will bottom out in something, or it will be circular. So it's bottom out.
Oh, not true. Yesterday we gave ChatGPT our position, yes. And it didn't find any logical fallacies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I would type that shit.
I would like to see that, but
whatever he said,
we can discuss this first. Appeal to desire. I don't think that is in any way.
Axel, you're very quiet if you were trying to talk so.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well that's because I was sitting far away. My bad.
Yeah.
But you do acknowledge the circular reasoning within your statement, correct?
It's simply that it will bottom out in something. It's bottom out in this. Everything will bottom out in desire.
No. Your argument is circular. I'm not vegan because I don't want to be vegan. I'm not. Like you would have to answer with a better answer of why. Like, why is it that you don't want to be vegan? Let's put it this way. Do you think veganism is the good moral position to be in? Is it moral? Is it morally preferable to be vegan?
No.
Why is it not morally preferable to be vegan?
Because I don't like it.
It is not morally preferable. Is it not morally preferable to be vegan? Because I don't like it. Appeal to personal preference. This fallacy says something isn't morally better just because you don't like it. Imagine saying sharing isn't better than stealing because I don't like sharing. Just because you don't like something doesn't change whether it is right or wrong, obviously.
Well, that is a very strong statement. I don't think the ChatGPT can defend it. Just because you don't
type
like
it in there.
something.
Type
Yeah,
what you
just
put.
like that. Just because you don't like something doesn't mean. I'm very interested in what you can copy paste it.
Just because you don't like something doesn't mean it's not moral. Is that what you're trying to say?
Just because you don't like something doesn't change whether it is right or wrong. That is the ChatGPT's words.
I don't think that's what it was saying. No, but
Well,
but FYI, your argument is fallacious from the start, because the continuation of it is not morally preferable to be vegan because I don't like it. Like you're saying that it is not morally preferable to be vegan because you don't like it. So this statement that ChatGPT has made is correct. What you're saying right now, just because you don't like something doesn't change whether it is right or wrong, is a totally different statement. But it is not related to here, because what you're saying, no, because you made the statement.
It's related. It is related. It just is the contradiction of your previous statement. So in the previous statement, you said it's not morally preferable if you don't, and now you say just because you don't like something doesn't mean it's right or wrong.
There you go. We got to a valid and sound statement. Exactly. But just because you don't like something doesn't change whether it is right or wrong. Correct. So that means that veganism could be both right or wrong. Correct?
On what moral explanation ChatGPT even stands? This is incredibly stupid.
Oh, it's not testing your morality. What it's testing is your fallaciousness.
Your consistency.
Yeah.
It is consistency is one thing, fallaciousness is a different thing. Appeal to personal preferences is not a recognized fallacy. It is a position in complete. It is a moral statement, basically.
Well, I can explain. I can give you a better example of how your statement is fallacious. It is not morally preferable to be against slavery because I don't like it.
That is a perfectly fine statement.
That is a perfectly fine statement.
Yes.
No, the whole point of because.
You agree with slavery, right?
Well, the whole point of because, right? It's because is the key word here. Because that's the whole point. Because when you say because, you're saying I don't like it, therefore it is not morally preferable to be vegan. That's your statement over here.
Yes.
And you think that is a good enough statement? I don't like it, therefore it is morally preferable to not be. Therefore it is not morally preferable to be vegan.
Yes.
Okay, let's put it.
Therefore it's not good.
Therefore
so you basically committing to being fallacious there, Conan.
Can we get someone else who's a little bit more sane?
Yeah, we need somebody who actually has a view, because Conan's view is something is moral only if he likes it, correct?
Yes, if I like it, it's good.
Something is moral only if I like it. That's your statement, correct?
Yes.
Okay, let's see.
Definitive statements is what we're looking for.
Yeah, fallacies.
This says that morality depends on completely on personal taste. Yeah, that's like saying if I like hitting people, then hitting is moral. There you go. So if I like hitting people, hitting is moral. But we know that.
Yes, I already said that.
Yeah. I don't think you know what morality is. Yeah.
Egoism is also not a fallacy.
This treats only your own feelings as the center of what's right or wrong. It's like saying only my pain matters. But if we all said that, then no one else's suffering would count, and And that's not how we
Yes,
teach
that's
fairness and
fine.
kindness.
That is a fine thing to say. These are not fallacy. These are his not even critiques. These are AI disagreement with mine point of view. And
No,
it
they
is
are
not
fallacies because you.
they are not fallacies.
Well, can you please define what morality is?
It is classification of certain things. Like I need to remember, look, actions, motives, and something third. I forgot what, into good or bad.
Okay.
It's fine to make the statement, I'm just totally selfish.
Well, it's a fine statement to make, yes.
Yeah, that's what makes it a fallacy when you make it like.
It's not a fallacy.
It is. I'm reading it right now. The fallacy. I'm reading it right now.
Egoism is not a fallacy. Egoism is clearly defined and clearly recognized philosophical standpoint. It's
But,
not the only way of fallacy itself.
But wait a minute, Conan, because if morality were defined.
Could he explain how real quick? I just want to see what he means by that.
By what?
Conan. How is it completely substantial to just stand by egotism?
What do you mean substantial?
Like, because you said it was completely fine philosophically. How?
Yeah,
it
is recognized and acknowledged philosophical state.
Okay, how? Describe it, please. Explain.
Well, there are books about it, and the philosophers held that.
What does it explain? How does it? How is the? What is the justification?
For justification?
You're just saying a fact. Like you're just stating a fact. Explain the fact. What makes it?
Egoism or what?
Hey.
No. Oh my God. Explain what makes it acceptable.
It is recognized in philosophical circles. It's not a fallacy.
Oh my God.
Fallacy is a mistake in logic, and this is not a mistake in logic.
Okay, dude, you can't even explain how. So how could you make the claim?
If
I say, because I could say a dog has emotion, right? And then somebody could say, how do you know that? And then I'd be like, the dog has emotion. That's not explaining anything.
Well, I need to find you a book on egoism or what. I don't know what you want me to do.
No,
But also we can Conan, we can grant you that egoism, then you still at least circular. So we can get stuck on this, but.
Okay, only for now, only I can only valid fallacy is circular, but it is we can reform it into less circular with different words. We can say well, I am not vegan due to personal preference.
Could you
and
clear
then
your
it is
throat?
not
It's very hard to understand it. Could you just clear your throat out a little bit?
I thought we were moving on. Why are we so entertaining this?
Yeah, so I believe the fallacy, by the way, Conan, that stands for I don't like the Conan. Your fallacy is that you start on the premise that something is moral because you like it. It's essentially this. Something is moral only if I like it, correct? So, yeah, but with your own justification, rape is moral. With your own justification, slavery is moral. With your own justification, every single action that anybody does is moral because they do it because they like it. Correct? So by your own definition, then there is no such thing as morality, because in your definition, if everything that we like if we do everything that we like, and then everything that we like is moral, right? Like your whole point is morality isn't supposed to be about what you like. It's supposed to define what is right or wrong, and you're just strictly saying that what I like is moral.
Right or wrong are the same.
So why would anybody ever do something they don't like? Wait, is working immoral to you?
I like some work, some I don't.
So the work that you don't like is immoral?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Dude, you don't know what morality is, my man. You don't know what morality
I
is.
told you what morality is.
If you don't like music, it's immoral for people to play music.
No, morality is only actions, motivations, and the third, I forgot what third is, but it's not.
Okay, so if you don't like a piece of music, is it immoral for you to play?
I told you what morality is. It is categorization of actions and motivations, and I forget
I gave an action here. If you don't like a piece of music, for you to
it's
turn
not
on
an
the
action.
radio that plays that piece of music, is that immoral?
Yeah, if somebody plays the music.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, let's move on to not a gibberish generator.
Yeah, let's move on to somebody who's not a gibberish generator, you're right.
Does anybody think they can argue with ChatGPT?
Can I ask a question here?
Sure.
What do you think, like, humans and animals are the same, like the importance of life? What do you think about it?
Do you
The
think...
value of their lives.
Well, wait, shall we answer this question or shall we ask directly ChatGPT? So, do we think humans and animals are the same? No. Do I think you and I are the same? No. How is that any related to veganism?
No, I'm talking about the value of the value of both. For example, you are standing and you are driving a car, and a kid came in front of your car, and there's also a cat on the other side, and you have two options to choose. What would you do?
I would probably choose, if I had to choose between killing a human and killing an animal, I would probably choose to kill an animal. But how is that how is that in any way relevant to what we're talking about here?
Because you are in a situation.
No,
no.
You would be in
African
that
people
situation
because they don't have.
No.
Okay, wait. Let him make the statement.
You would be in that situation if you didn't kill animals, then a human would die. Then you would be in that situation. But since you're not in that situation, since humans are capable of being living a vegan lifestyle, then it's not choosing between whether we kill an animal or choosing to whether we kill an animal or don't kill an animal. That's the situation you're in.
Yeah, I'm talking about this.
Okay, so what is your reason for not being vegan?
Because it's like personal matter to everybody. Like, it's a personal choice. No, you can't enforce.
Do you think it's moral to oppress innocent animals for optional products?
If they don't have an option.
So so that's the question. The question that I asked, do you think it's moral to oppress animals for optional products? No. So then do you think so then by this assumption it would mean that you would think it's immoral to not be vegan, correct?
I think it's a personal choice of every person.
I would type
you can't enforce somebody else to be vegan.
It's a personal choice for every person. You can't force everybody to be vegan.
Yeah.
While Chip is writing, can you guys hear me?
Am
I still cutting out?
It keeps dropping out completely, VPM, and then coming back again.
Give me a sec.
So, appeal to personal choice. Just because something is personal choice doesn't mean it's morally okay. There you go. That's the first thing that you... For example, hurting somebody can be a personal choice too, but that doesn't make it right. If your choice harms others, like animals, then it's not just a personal choice anymore.
Why do you hate the cat or animal? And I ask the question, you choose a life of human.
No, your hypothetical scenario posted two individuals. You ask me which one I would kill. Veganism is not about that. Veganism is about rejecting animal exploitation as much as possible and practicable. In other words, it means that if you have the option between oppressing an animal or not oppressing an animal, then we think it is morally obligatory to choose the option to not oppress an animal. And you seem to think so too. So that means that you should be vegan.
Hey, Chip, ask ChatGPT what makes something right. What makes something right?
Sure, Conan, we'll ask it afterwards because we finished the conversation with you and we're talking to somebody else now, but we'll ask later. So, we ask again, why do you think it's okay to oppress animals for optional products?
Nutrition purposes.
That wouldn't make it optional, though. Can you elaborate? Can you say what you mean? Like, do you mean for nutrition you can get only from animal products?
Like protein or any other things.
Yeah. Okay, Chip, you can put that in. We don't even have to try to debunk it, usually. Am I still cutting out, by the way?
A little bit.
Just a little bit. It's
fuck
better.
me.
It's better though. So the argument was nutritional purposes, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask, like, is it incorrect to kill an insect? Also,
If you don't
because
need
they
to,
also
yes.
have a life and nervous system. So
Yeah,
how
if
do
you
you
don't
grow a crops then?
Yeah,
We
you
can
have to.
we can go down the crop
Yeah,
desk
yeah.
scenario. We can even ask ChatGPT for that.
Yeah,
But let's start with your first argument, nutritional purposes. And it says it's an appeal to necessity when it's not actually necessary. Because claiming animal products are needed for nutrition might sound like a strong reason, but in most cases today, it is not true. So, do we want to go down all the fallacies, or does that already solve your issue with nutritional purposes?
I think ChatGPT is playing very also play very defensive and like general
Wow, the
purposes. He
cope is
doesn't.
real.
Brother, it is not needed to consume animal products. I'm a
As
certified
evidenced by the
nutritionist.
fact-
You
Yeah,
sound
as
Indian as
evidenced
well,
also
bro.
by
How
the
are you
fact
saying this?
that I exist.
Yeah, we all exist. If we needed to consume animal products, we would have died by now, right? So wanting to consume animal products? No. What did you say, Ad? Something else? Did you say crop deaths? What else did you said?
Yeah. How do you grow crops without insecticides? Why you can't talk about the insecticide?
Wait, Chip, make him acknowledge first before you move on. Like he's not acknowledging.
Yeah, so do you acknowledge that you don't need animal products to thrive?
Yeah. Because some people are like artificial things, but I can't really I can't say that I
artificial,
fully
no.
argue with that.
No. So that's a hasty generalization, what you just made just now, right? Which is ChatGPT already predicting your next thing, saying this assumes that because some people might struggle on a vegan diet, nobody can thrive on it. So do you agree that people can thrive on a plant-based diet?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's no more, how do I get my nutrition? Right now, it's just, your argument is that animals die in crop production.
Yeah. But you also talk about like insects,
Sorry, Chip, before
killing
you
of
press...
insects,
Yeah.
killing of
So
an innocent
yeah,
insects.
insects are animals. It knows what animals
Yeah.
are. So
So do you
Chip,
know how they are
give me a
killed by
give me a second. Chip,
insecticides?
before you...
Okay.
Jesus Christ, be quiet for 1 second. Chip, before you press enter, please ask the person if they stand behind this statement, if they want to add something or subtract.
Fair enough. I will do that
would
next
be
time.
fairer. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you said animals die in crop production. That is a to quote fallacy. This says you can cause harm too, so you can't criticize me. But just because crop farming harms some animals doesn't mean it's fine to kill even more animals on purpose through meat and dairy. It's like saying you littered once, so I can dump my whole trash can in the park. False equivalence. It treats accidental harm, like some animals dying in crop farming, as equal to intentional harm, breeding, killing, and eating animals. That's like comparing stepping on ants by accident to running over dogs on purpose. That's actually a pretty good example.
So are you saying that using the insecticides are accidental?
They're incidental.
I wouldn't. Yeah, they're incidental and also they are necessary. So imagine, like, for instance, your crop field,
How
right?
is it like accidental?
I'm fucking
using insecticides?
explaining it if you just listen. I'm explaining it right now.
Okay, talking aggressively doesn't make your point valid.
Well, it's just how I talk. So
Don't
when I'm
interrupt them.
interrupted like that,
You
like
should work on
incredibly
it.
rudely, while answering the question that you are asking, just annoying, right? So imagine you have a field, right? And there are animals, all kinds of animals that are coming in at it, and no matter what you do, they just keep coming at that crop field. And the only way you can't stop it any other way except for like actually preventing them from living. And if you don't prevent them from living, the entire human population, and by the way, the entire farmed animal population are going to die because farmed animals also eat crops. So this makes it necessary. If we can prevent it through technology, we absolutely should. And there are like a shitload of scientists working on this problem exactly, right? How to prevent crop deaths, or like specifically insect pesticides, insecticides, all of that stuff. Like they tried sound, they tried like the only way you actually can do it, making fields much smaller and putting like specific crop repellents around it. That's somewhat effective. That's what veganic farming basically. But that's not possible if we want to feed the entire human population and the entire farmed animal population. Once we go vegan, it will be possible for us to like make crop fields smaller and actually put like these crop repellents on the sides, and that would prevent crop deaths.
Now you're admitting like killing a small animal is
Sure,
correct.
we never said it doesn't. It just has a justification, a really good one.
Yeah, and plus we always said veganism is a moral position of rejecting animal exploitation.
Yeah.
Not killing. Do you understand that? I mean, killing is in a form of exploitation if you do it intentionally, of course. But like there is a difference between like you understand what VPM just explained, everything that I explained to you.
Like for human survival, the plants are necessary. That's why you said like it is okay to kill an insect. In other words,
it's not necessarily that it's okay. We don't think it's okay, but it is sadly required or necessary in the farming practices that are done today.
Yeah, it's definitely not okay. It's tragic to us.
Yeah.
if you could stop, you will stop it.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Tomorrow, if I could push a button, I would. That's one of the reasons that I'm vegan, because that would reduce crop deaths as well. Not just like the animal exploitation.
Okay.
Okay.
So
do you have any other propositions against veganism? Sorry, Chip.
Unacceptable.
You're too nice.
Can I give you another option, like another hypothetical question?
Absolutely.
If you are in a desert,
Mhm.
okay, and you are dying with starvation,
Mhm.
and I killed an animal, I have a meat, and you have only one option to survive, to eat a meat, what would you do?
Depends, like I'm not in that situation, like
That is an
With that
individual
situation?
question.
Would you
not a
follow
vegan
your
question.
vegan? Would
Uh,
you follow
that
your
That is an
would be
veganism,
individual
or you
question,
break
not a
for?
vegan question.
it would be actually vegan for me to kill an animal and eat them.
Yeah.
No, you are not
Kill a
killing it.
human and
I
eat
have
them.
a meat.
Yeah, it would
Some
be
vegans
vegan.
would decide to die.
It would be
You
vegan
break
in
this
that situation.
veganism.
Jesus Christ. Am I muted or something?
No, no, no. We can hear you.
Okay,
No.
so I said it would be vegan in that situation to eat an animal, to kill and eat an animal. Because
I
it's
just
when
thought-
possible and practicable.
Yeah, that's also just a personal question. That's not a vegan question.
Yeah.
They call that a
But
survival
that question
fantasy.
unlocked
They call it a
the most
survival
things.
fantasy, my dude.
Somebody is hot micing like fucking crazy. And sorry for using swear words if that like insults somebody.
Yeah, they call that a survival fantasy.
Yeah. Survival fantasy. I have to remember that. That's a good one.
You could justify just about anything in a survival situation.
Yeah. It would be a tragedy though, right?
Yeah, so
be one
a
of the
survival situation cannot justify what you do on your day to day, right? Like if you think about the people who were dropped in the Andes, whose plane crashed there, they cannibalized each other, they ate some dead humans. I don't think you would do that day to day, or any of those people would do that day to day. Yet they did it in that situation. So having to do something in a survival situation does not justify you doing it every day, correct?
That was a question to you. So
Yeah, that's correct.
awesome.
So-
So synth, that means you're going vegan.
Not really, but
Yeah,
so
why not?
what if you're not going vegan, do you think that what is your, like, how can you justify not being vegan morally? Do you think that when you buy or
I am not
consume
doing
animal
it.
products, do you think when you consume animal product,
Because I'm not the one who is doing it.
because I'm not the one who's doing it,
I'm
okay,
just eating. I'm just eating.
not the one
You
who's
might wanna put,
doing it.
I'm not. You
I'm
might
Sorry,
just
can you
That's
be
called
specific
denial.
about what you're doing or not doing?
Yeah.
That's
Like
called
instead of
denial
doing-
of responsibility.
Hold on, one at a time. Chip, you might want to put before because I'm not the one doing it. You should probably put I'm not going vegan.
No, it
before
knows.
that
We
cause.
put it in the specifications of ChatGPT in this that
Okay.
it knows that those are arguments for and against veganism.
Yeah, I think it can infer even context if I just press enter on
Yeah,
this one.
true.
But I'll ask you: is this okay? Shall we ask ChatGPT about your argument here?
I think this is not okay. I think we should change doing it for specific stuff.
Yeah. What do you mean by doing it?
It's not my fault. He means it's not my fault.
Yeah,
Right.
but what is it?
He means he didn't kill the animal.
Yeah, well, let's
Yeah.
answer that question. You're not the one exploiting and killing an animal.
Yeah.
So, because I'm not the one who's exploiting and killing the animal, I'm just eating it. Is that okay? Is that your argument? Would you like to add something to it?
Yeah. That's
Okay.
I have some arguments.
Moral responsibility, bystander fallacy. This is like saying, I didn't rob the bank, I just spent the money. If you're paying for a product, you're funding the system that creates it. Just because you're not holding the knife doesn't mean you're not involved.
but robbing a bank is a crime.
Well, that doesn't matter. It's also like immoral.
Yeah.
Actually taking the money of
I would-
somebody
I
else,
would-
right?
It's a
I would
law.
put that in chat. I would put that in chat.
Well, that doesn't matter. We're not talking about the law. We're talking about morality here, Synth. And that's
Yeah,
what ChatGPT is
Morality
answering.
doesn't exist.
Yeah, morality doesn't exist. Nice take. Let's put it in next. First, we're talking it. We're concentrating. So we're gonna do that for a second.
You're still coming in and out a little bit, by the way, VPM.
Just put
it's
robbing
nothing I can do about it.
put in but robbing a bank is not a crime.
Robbing a bank is...
Axel, you need to be nearer to your mic. We're not hearing you properly.
Yeah.
It's probably...
No, it's like in my face.
By the way, what do you think about plants feeling pain too? Can we kill them?
We can go down that. Yeah. So the absurdity fallacy, reductio ad absurdum. This takes a clearly wrong idea. Robbing a bank is not a crime to try and shake the logic of comparison, but it falls apart because it's just obvious false. It's like saying punching someone isn't violence just to win an argument. I don't know if that's what it is. I think ChatGPT might have gotten that one wrong. The whole point fails because it starts with a made-up idea. If the starting point isn't true, the rest of the argument can't stand either. It's like saying if gravity didn't exist, pigs could fly, so pigs can fly. That's a false premise. Is that what it's saying? Robbing a bank is not a crime. I think, so the problem in this scenario, by the way, FYI, is that I don't think ChatGPT can have a conversation going forward.
No, you could program it to, like, you could say you are this kind of person who is not allowed to make any fallacies and has to be logically consistent, and you have to remain unbiased and point out.
No, we said that, but every argument we send, it tries to find the fallacies within that argument. It doesn't...
Oh, so this is a program thing. Like,
yeah. So it
just tell it to have a conversation.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a conversation per se. It's every argument. So this whole argument of robbing a bank is not a crime. It's when ChatGPT gave this example, I didn't rob the bank. I just spent the money. This whole point was an example of immorality. It wasn't necessarily about the fact that it was a crime per se. So if you, for example, pay somebody to rob the bank and then you spend the money, it's just as immoral. You still have the same amount of moral culpability for the robbing of the bank as the people who actually did the robbing of the bank, correct?
What's the argument for that?
Somebody still was charged.
What's the argument of culpability of spending any money from robbing a bank?
Yes, what's the argument for that? He doesn't present any argument. He just spews them out.
We didn't ask him.
Conclusion.
We didn't ask it to present an argument.
Yeah. The whole point about it is trying to see the logical fallacies within the statements, right? The whole point of this exercise is to see when you make a statement against veganism, to try and see what the logical fallacies are behind that statement, right? So when you say, because I'm not the one who's exploiting and killing the animal, I'm just eating it. This is moral responsibility bystander fallacy. I've never heard of this fallacy, by the way. But the example that it says, I didn't rob the bank, I just spent the money. So this is fallacious because you're essentially dodging your responsibility. It's the same as ChatGPT tries to say, and as I just mentioned earlier, that if you pay somebody to rob a bank and then you spend the money, you have just as much. Well, even if you spend or don't spend the money, you have just as much culpability in the robbing of the bank as the people who did it.
You have just as much culpability. He doesn't say why you would have culpability. It doesn't make fallacies, it makes arguments. Which are
no, it doesn't. We didn't ask it to make arguments. We asked it to point out fallacies.
So we can
actually correct.
Yeah, so we can acknowledge that some of the fallacies that ChatGPT is making are indeed argumentative rather than actual fallacies. That's okay. But what you can understand from the arguments that ChatGPT makes is the logical error, right? Because when you say, because I'm not the one exploiting and killing the animal, I'm just eating it, you're exactly like the example that ChatGPT gave. And it clearly explains if you're paying for a product, you're funding the system that creates it. Just because you're not holding the knife doesn't mean you're not involved, right? So it's a pretty clear what the error in that statement is. We don't have a particular name for it, but it is a pretty clear statement. I don't believe that this moral responsibility bystander fallacy exists, but ChatGPT will always invent stuff, right? But the rationing for it, the reasoning for it is pretty valid. That's what we're trying to say.
It's not where it's low argument. World can exist in a
The actual fallacy is diminished responsibility. That's the formal name of it.
Diminished responsibility.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fallacy. Diminished responsibility fallacy.
Yeah, I figured out. Yeah.
I have morality to kill animals. You don't have morality to kill animals.
Shall we move?
Let's try that.
Sure. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to the next one then. I have morality to kill animals. You don't have morality to kill animals. I mean, this is a form of...
This is like morality subjective kind of situation?
Yeah, exactly. It's the most... it's the one that most people use. Moral relativism fallacy, that's the one, yeah. You're saying you have morality to kill animals and I don't. Like, morality is just a personal opinion with no standard. That's called moral relativism. Imagine if somebody said, I think stealing is okay, so it's moral for me. That would be chaos, right? It's not a good excuse just because you believe it. So I'm not sure yet again if this is an actual fallacy that exists.
It's absolutely not.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. But the logic behind it does make sense. I know you, Conan Barbarian, that you really want to believe that that this is wrong. But I mean, you agree with this one. If I think stealing is okay, so it's moral to me. You, Conan, believe it's okay, correct?
Yes, I just don't think it would be chaos.
Sure. Who gave this argument?
Let me see.
Jerome.
Yeah, Jerome. Either Jerome or...
So
Yeah.
Jerome, do you agree? Do you understand this thing? Do you also agree that if I think stealing is okay, then it's moral? The audio is really bad. I don't know if...
Okay, I want to answer to that. Stealing from people is not okay, but stealing from animals, it's okay. Like stealing milk from cows.
Oh,
stealing
Jesus, are you
eggs from...
sure? Are you sure that's what you want to put in? Sure. Okay, I'm not going to make a judgment. ChatGPT will.
Stealing from people is not okay, but stealing milk from animals is okay, right? That's what you're saying.
Sorry, you want to give a justification for it so that it's really, really clear to ChatGPT what you mean by that.
Yeah, this just seems like I think this. So can you mention why that would be the case?
Yeah. Why is stealing from other people, morally, I don't feel like it's correct. So...
Because you feel like this? Is that the addition?
Yeah.
So stealing from people is not okay, but stealing meat from animals is okay because I feel like this? Is that really the statement you want to make?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see what ChatGPT says.
Special pleading. You're making an exception for animals without a good reason. There you go. That is actually true. It's like saying no one should be bullied except my little brother because I feel like it. You're applying different rules without explaining why animals don't count. There you go. That's actually a good one. Appeal to emotion or a subjectivist version. You're using your feelings to justify what's right or wrong. That's like saying I feel like cheating is okay today, so it is. Feelings don't decide what's fair or unfair, especially when others are being hurt. And of course, speciesism, which is implied. Even if it's not directly said, the logic shows you're treating humans and animals differently just because they're different species. Imagine saying it's bad to hurt my dog, but not your dog, because mine is cuter. That's not fair. Animals aren't things just because they aren't human.
Yeah, I'm not with ChatGPT. That's not speciesism.
It's not. It's not. The example was not speciesism for sure.
The example. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the fallacy behind it, yeah.
Yeah. So we acknowledge we have a special pleading, right? Do you acknowledge that this special pleading that you're saying no one should be bullied except my little brother because I feel like it. Is that very much like your example? Do you agree to that one?
Hello. Naga. That was their name, I promise. Are you still here? Are you still with us?
Naga. Naga.
Hi, sorry.
Yeah.
Actually, in not exactly that way. Like bullying my brother is not okay, but bully others. It's not
Well, if
in
you want
that
to make
sense.
another argument, if you want to refine your argument, please go ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
So what I was, in what sense I made that statement is, see, we mostly interact with people in day-to-day life, right? So we have a some sentiment, some kind of sentiment towards the humans, right? But with the other animals, maybe people who has the pet, they may have the different sentiment towards the pets. Let's say some people have a dog as a pet. They may have a soft or kind feeling towards the dogs, but not the other animals. So
Yeah, so your statement would be, Naga, stealing from people is not okay, but stealing milk from, stealing from animal is okay because people have more sentimental value to other people.
yeah,
Something like that.
all this, this
Okay.
originated from the it's like sourcing food, right? Bringing the food to the table. So
No, that's a different argument. We can test it as well, but
okay.
This is, let's stick one argument at a time. We don't want to confuse ChatGPT so that it spits
Understand.
out like
Okay.
20 fallacies out. How's my mic, by the way? Is it better?
Yep. I can hear clearly.
Okay, awesome. That's good.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Stealing from people is not okay, but stealing milk from animals is okay because
we have sentimental value towards people and some animals, but not towards other people. Or not, because not value, because we have sentimental, how would you say it, Naga?
Emotions, feelings.
Yeah, feelings, sentimental feelings towards some
we are
people.
more close to the humans, right? We have
Because we are more
sentiments.
close to humans.
Emotionally close, he said.
Emotionally.
No, bring up
but not towards other animals.
Okay.
We humans, we have.
Yeah, that's what it's basically saying. That is.
Let's see. Appeal to emotion. You're saying it's okay based on how close you feel to somebody. That's like saying it's wrong to hurt my friend, but not the stranger, because I don't care about them as much. But being hurt is still wrong, no matter how much you care. Yet again, speciesism. Let's see if the example is okay. Hurting a dog is bad, but hurting a cow is fine, because I don't hug cows.
Yeah.
Sure, it's an okay example.
Is good this time. Yeah.
Yeah. Relevance fallacy. How you feel about someone isn't a reason for whether it's okay to take from them or not. Yeah. Imagine if someone said, I don't feel close to my classmate, so I can take their lunch. Your feelings don't change whether it is right or wrong. Double standard. You're using one rule for some animals, the ones you feel close to, and a different one for others without explaining why that's fair. It's like saying it's wrong to hit dogs, but pigs? Nah, I don't cuddle pigs. But pigs can feel pain too.
There you go.
Does this clarify?
Jerome added into the conversation, he said, or they said, that because humans are better. So the same proposition, is it, Jerome? The same proposition, but because humans are better?
I don't see how people don't understand this. Okay, but let's go. Oh my God. Because
Jerome, Yeah, we're gonna need you to answer though. Like, I think you proposed this of the left. I think.
So stealing from people is not okay, but stealing milk from animals is okay because humans are better. Is that your statement?
They're not here anymore, but let's press play anyways, just to see what's happening.
Oh, that's the
You know,
stupidest argument. I'm sorry for being a dick.
Yeah.
Might makes right. You're saying it's okay to take from animals because humans are better. Like strength or intelligence give us permission. That's like a big kid saying, I'm stronger, so I get your toy. Being stronger doesn't make it fair. Yet again, speciesism, we've had already. Moral double standard, we've had already. Begging the question, you're assuming humans are better in a way that makes taking okay without proving why that makes it moral. That's actually a pretty good one. It's like saying I deserve more cake because I deserve more cake. You're just repeating yourself without explaining.
Yeah.
So anybody else want to take on ChatGPT with their arguments against veganism?
Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Okay. So I want to add to the might makes right thing. If we were to exhibit might makes right, it would literally lead to the extinction of all life because it would just constantly be, oh, I'm stronger than you, I must kill you. Oh, I'm stronger than you, I must kill you, until the last individual who is the strongest individual prevails.
Yeah.
And then they'd inherently die because there's no one left.
Yeah, only Eddie Hall survives. Everybody else is in trouble.
And that's where
everybody knows who Eddie Hall is.
No, it's like might makes right must end in death.
What do you mean?
Well, just to prove that you're mighty, that someone you don't need to kill them. You can just beat them up real good.
Yeah, let's yet again, Conan, we acknowledge that you have a sociopathic view of the world. You think that if you like to do something, then it automatically makes it moral. You've already said that rape is moral. You've already said that murder is moral. Yes, you did. You said if somebody wants to rape and they get pleasure from it, then it is moral. You also said the same about killing. So I don't think you are the right person to talk about morality because, yet again, and I repeat, you don't know what morality is. To you, morality is synonymous to what I like to do, and that is not what morality is. So, well,
Chip, can you share my screen on your live stream instead of yours for a second, just to show everybody who Eddie Hall is?
Once.
In case people don't know.
I can share who Eddie Hall is. Let me see, because otherwise I have to do this whole shebangle of sharing.
I'm sharing it in my screen. I'm just sharing my screen. So.
Okay, but I'm sharing my window. I'm not sharing, let me add.
I got you. No, that's fine. That's all right. So yeah, Eddie Hall is just like this mountain of a man. Everything that he holds just looks tiny in his hand. But somebody says that that actually Brian Shaw, yeah, those two would fight. By the way, Eddie Hall in Silver Boots, Eddie Hall in there. So one of those two people is gonna be like the president of nothing because they've killed everybody.
But let's see. Anybody else have any arguments that we can easily debunk using ChatGPT? And by the way, everybody, when we do this, it's just to show a little bit of an exercise. Like when we put the instructions for this, the whole instructions were to be clear and be as unbiased as possible. Okay, so that's what the only instructions we put. We don't have any bias or in any other way, but we'll show you at the end what our instructions were. So yeah, tell us what your arguments against veganism are.
May I try?
Sure.
May I, so
I have some arguments against page 2. Where is it?
Yeah, Jerome, somebody else is doing it right now, and then you're going to be next, okay? By the way, when you left, we actually ran your argument, and it came out fallacious. We can show it to you if you want.
Who are you talking to?
Jerome.
You. Either way, let's just move on, right? Izumi, you want to ask some questions? Jerome, don't interrupt.
Okay, so I have some premises. So first premises is practicing veganism take effort. And the second premises is there is more morally priority.
Jerome, can
There
you
is
be
one.
quiet for a second? Izumi is talking now. Please mute yourself for a second. Thank you. Yeah, sorry, Izumi, go on.
Okay,
Jerome,
so and
real.
okay.
Jerome,
Yeah,
just be quiet for a little bit. You keep hot micing. Just like
I disconnected him.
mute
I
yourself.
disconnected him. I just disconnected him.
Go on.
Okay, so practicing veganism take effort, and the second assumption is there is more morally important things to do for given effort. Therefore, doing veganism is morally not justified or even like immoral.
Okay, let's take it one at a time. So you say practicing
No, put both
veganism.
of them in.
Oh, okay. So
Chat,
practicing veganism takes effort. What is the next one?
And there is more morally important thing to do.
Okay.
Like for
In
example,
what
like
way is dairy a more? Oh, there is more morally important. Okay, I thought you said dairy is morally important thing to do.
I think he said for the same amount of effort, and that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Therefore,
like prioritizing veganism is immoral.
Well, let's see what ChatGPT says. Let's put our own claims aside.
False dichotomy. This argument makes it sound like you only have two choices. Either you practice veganism or you do something more important. Like you can't do both. That's actually true.
So, like, for example, like if I need to like search vegan recipes, but at the same amount of time I can work and earn like $1,000 and donate it to like a prevention for malaria.
But do you do that? Do you do that?
Wait. No, before you even do that, but that's the whole point about it, isn't it? Because if your point is, I don't know how to cook recipes or I have to search for recipes, we got you covered, man. We got you covered. But the time it takes for you to search a recipe, if you make $1,000 in the time it takes for you to search for a recipe, then you should probably not search for recipes or cook and have somebody cook already for you. If it takes you $1,000, if you make $1,000 like in the 5 minutes it takes you to find a recipe.
Yeah, just like leave from a restaurant, just like just only order restaurant, vegan restaurant food the entire time.
There you go.
That was solvable. So that's why it's a false dichotomy.
But I like the example. I won't do my homework because I have to brush my teeth. Brushing teeth is more important. It's a very good example.
Yeah.
I think this is like not fallacy. Like
it is a false dichotomy.
Dichotomy is not a fallacy?
It's a logical fallacy, yes.
Is it?
Yeah, because you're assuming, as ChatGPT says, you're assuming that you only have the two options. You're assuming you only have the two options. One of the two choices is either veganism or something more important, but you can definitely do both. That's the whole point, as ChatGPT also says here.
Oh, I guess it doesn't exist.
I mean,
there
like,
you go. Yeah,
like
so either or
continue.
reasoning, right? This is false dichotomy. I have it on my screen. It is an informal fallacy. So it's called false dilemma, all or nothing thinking, dichotomy, black and white fallacy, and false binary.
Okay, but like you can do more morally important things on
like what?
That's the fallacy.
You are making, right?
You are making a fallacy. You are fallaciously reasoning that there are only two options between the two. That's the false dichotomy.
But I'm trying to understand, what exactly do you think takes time to be vegan?
Okay. For context, I'm like shifting my diet for plant-based right now, and it is more about like, for example,
like ban Jerome or something.
Somebody just talked alongside you. I'm sorry about that. Can you please wait for a second? We're having a conversation. Please continue.
Jerome, this is like a recurring thing for you. Trying to be so. Or
Relcurian wants to add, and he is a philosophy professor.
Awesome.
Yeah, you can add in something.
Oh, are we done with this one then?
No, Izumi still wants to talk about it, so let's talk to Izumi for a second.
Okay, like my situation I'm thinking is like Elon Musk like saving like humanity, but like maybe like it is true that for him like spending his attention to veganism might be like that thing.
Well, no, because Elon
I'm
Musk,
not Elon Musk.
Elon Musk has somebody cooking for them. He can just say cook vegan. That's it. Problem solved.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that makes sense. But like for example, like having some like dinner discussion over like I don't know like presidents or something, then like I don't know.
Sorry, what
like,
would be the
maybe
problem?
you're right.
Presidents also have
I should
cooks.
understand,
People
yeah.
who like make $1,000 an hour have cooks or order from other places. So they just order the vegan option. If you're cooking for yourself because you're poor as fuck, it takes the same amount of time to cook a plant-based dishes as it is to cook non-plant-based dishes. Sometimes less.
Okay, the other example I think of is like, for example, like if I should go like 100% vegan, I should like check every snacks I eat if it like contains like tiny amount of cheese or not, right? But like amount of like suffering caused by like producing that like tiny amount of cheese is not like efficient thing to like care. Like what do you think about it?
Yeah, Chipu, you want to put that into the ChatGPT?
Yeah, let's do it. The amount of harm, you said, right?
Suffering.
The amount of suffering that takes to make a slice of cheese, you said?
Like some like tiny portion of cheese in like snack. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yes.
like
What do you mean by that? Do you mean like there is a snack that has a little bit of cheese in it, or do you mean like a snack might have like a traces of dairy because it's made in the same factory as like the cheese products? What do you mean?
Intentionally like including cheese.
Okay, intentional.
Yeah.
So intentional animal in a snack.
The amount of suffering that takes to make some tiny portion of...
No, I wouldn't say tiny portion. So an amount of suffering that takes to make a small amount of ingredient in a snack.
Yeah.
Yeah, small amount.
So like
is not. So is the claim that it's not morally important, or?
So we can use our time better than caring about it. Like for example, yeah, donating.
It's not worth the time that it would take to care about.
It's not worth our time caring about. By the way, I don't like this. It's kind of boring to me to just write comments to ChatGPT. So I would really like it if somebody would make statements and we can just paste them there instead of us reformulating them just for the sake of being genuine.
Why don't we have normal conversations and you could put in chat what you would like us to put in ChatGPT.
But let's go a list. Let's finish it this way. Too small to matter. Scope fallacy. Never heard of this one, by the way. This is like saying because the harm is small, we shouldn't care. But small harms are still harms and they add up. Imagine someone saying it's just one piece of plastic in the ocean. Who cares? But if everyone thinks that way, you get a giant garbage island. Sure. Moral relativism in a sneaky form. It treats caring as something based on how big the suffering is instead of what kind of suffering it is. Like saying it's okay to hurt a little because it's not a lot. But if that little is needless, it still matters.
I'm not lined up.
You're okay.
That's fine. Mute yourself, please. We're still in a conversation with somebody else.
Hold on, let me see my phone.
You can mute yourself. Slippery slope of apathy.
Never heard of it, yeah. If you justify ignoring one small harm, where do you draw the line? This thinking leads to not caring about any small injustice. It's like ignoring a kid being bullied because it wasn't that bad. That mindset spreads. Sure. Speciesism. Let's see if the example is good. That dog only suffered a little for my snack. It's fine. We'd be horrified.
Yeah.
But we say it about pigs or cows or fish.
Hey.
Yeah, but like my argument is about like best alternative. So like I agree that like tiny harm does matter, but like if we can do more to like decrease suffering, then we should do that, I think.
What if we could
That's
do...
an empirical claim, even.
What if we could do more to decrease suffering in the amount
like
it takes to go vegan? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Amount
I
of
think
time it takes to go vegan. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, then like going vegan is immoral.
Then going vegan is immoral. I mean, they don't follow, but okay. This argument makes it sound like it's either go vegan or do something more effective, like you can't do both.
I think
It's the same one, false dilemma.
Yeah, the false dichotomy.
Utilitarian extremism. That's interesting.
Yeah, it pushes the idea that if you're not doing the absolute most efficient thing at all times, then you're being immoral.
Another word from that is slave consequentialism.
Slave consequentialism, never heard of that. What is that?
It's basically where you live your life trying to maximize utility, right? So you care all about the consequences and the results. So that means the most ideal way of living would be like to live a life that maxes utility. You're a slave to that. And in this day and age, like that means changing everything, like not buying anything unnecessarily, not enjoying yourself, but giving up everything in a way that maximizes utility, reduces suffering, or increases happiness. It's
I mean,
kind of like utilitarian, maximizing utilitarian.
Yeah. I mean, all of this doesn't make sense because I like this red herring explanation the most. It avoids the question of whether exploiting animals is wrong by pointing somewhere else. And I think that's what you're trying to do, is you're trying to say, I don't want to focus on this wrong thing that I'm doing. I want to do something else because then I use my time better or something. But you're yet again dismissing the fact that you are doing something immoral when you could just as easily choose not to. And
I like the spot.
You most definitely don't spend your time doing everything you possibly can the most optimal way. So you will definitely have areas where, it's not perfect. So in those, I'm not saying that because that's an absurd claim anyway. Changing a diet, let's say, because that's usually where most people have an issue with, because veganism is not a diet, it's a moral principle. But changing a diet takes, I don't know, 1 month, let's say 2 months, and then everything is normal. So that's it. So
you're just changing actions that you already take, right? You're changing food that you're consuming. It's not like you're going out of your way, right? Like let's say you're volunteering at a charity for homelessness and you're missing out on volunteering for a charity that helps more homeless people. It's not like you're choosing between two options. You're just replacing the thing that you already do with something that's better. And that might take time only at the start. And it's like you can be small about it. It doesn't have to be that hard or time consuming as well.
Yeah, it could take less time in the long run.
Well, it still wouldn't. Yeah, and it still wouldn't justify it. It's kind of like moral licensing is suggesting that doing something good now will justify doing something bad later, or you can do something bad now and make up for it by doing something good later. It's like I thought you were talking about it when you were talking about Elon Musk using money. Like if I donated $1 million to like a women's rights group, that wouldn't then justify me like sexually assaulting a woman, right?
Yeah. Okay, so I think I'm convinced. Like my argument is like not for like denying veganism, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
So since you're convinced, does that mean you are going vegan?
Yeah, I'm doing it like for like past few days. Yeah.
Hey, amazing.
How's that
Yeah,
going?
like, yeah, tell us about that.
I hope. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have also talked with you in the past, right? I think a few days ago. Yeah, you asked me questions about like suffering minimization and like the difference between that and like animal exploitation more broadly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think this like outreach is like very meaningful thing to do. Yeah. I'm like
Oh,
I
thank
want
you.
to like
Well done,
convince.
Chip.
So, yeah.
And Postmortem. And every other vegan here. Are you like, what's it called? Do you have any resources? How can we help you on this journey before we move on? Like, how's it going? You said you've been there the past few days.
Well, like one thing I'm struggling is like
oh yeah,
like
we love to hear.
maintaining like good amount of protein, but I think I can fix it by like searching like some techniques and yeah.
Yeah,
So
add some tofu. Add some tofu, if you're making something with sauce, have some soy protein powder. That's what I do from time to time. I just put a little bit of it in it and adds a couple of protein to it. Yeah, it's pretty simple if you want to add more protein. But I have I have to reduce protein because I have too much. But yeah, these are the easy techniques.
Like TVP is really good as well. Or just get vegan protein if you're bodybuilding. Already have protein powder.
Yeah.
Like, you remember, you're not trying to like, you don't have to change the way you eat completely in the sense like you could just change the way you're eating and just replace all the non-vegan stuff with vegan stuff, right? That's one way of going about it. You could explore yourself to other dishes and other cuisines as well. But like, let's say if you have like, what kind of foods do you eat commonly?
Like pork.
Okay, and like what is that like what what do you have that in?
What do you have that in? Like name of dishes?
Yeah. You could replace that pork with either tofu or seitan or maybe a mushroom, but that won't have protein. So it makes it easier for yourself, right? I would also recommend like if you have Instagram or whatever alternative, follow a bunch of food pages, right? On YouTube, follow vegan chefs. On Instagram, follow like vegan food porn or like vegan chefs and just expose yourself to so much of the good food that exists. Try learning, try going out, try experimenting, and it will be easier. Are you in Challenge 22?
No.
I'll put that in chat. But yeah, do we want to move on to the next person?
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah, thank you so much.
No worries, bro. Thanks for being honest and civil.
So, who else wants to try and formulate some form of argument against ChatGPT?
This one here on the corner, on the first floor, you know.
Yeah, what's your argument, Red Son?
I know you can see how far.
Yeah.
Yeah, make the argument.
Hello.
You're gonna make the argument or?
I think they're just hot.
Then just mute them, please. Or like.
Anyone else?
It sounded like they walked away.
I have somebody in my chat saying slavery is unavoidable.
Yeah, that and then down there, it's almost like it's.
Red Son, you fucking hot micing like crazy. Oh, there you go.
How did you go?
Yeah. Awesome.
I didn't know who it was.
Does anybody want to try and give some arguments against ChatGPT?
No one?
I mean, guys, this is a fun experiment and you learn something. You learn if you make sense or not.
You said somebody in your chat was talking about slavery. What was that one?
Oh, should we try that? Should we try the nonsense?
I mean, there's plenty of arguments you can pull from the chat.
That's true.
Certainly more than enough.
I want to try something. Okay, go
Go
ahead.
on. I just want to ask, what is this AI?
Oh, just ChatGPT.
Like, is it like, I thought it's like a program that's pulled from ChatGPT. Is it like a website that a vegan activist has made? What is it?
No, it's a ChatGPT app on Mac, and there's some instructions that we gave
Oh,
it.
it's part of it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Nice.
To try something to see if it would like possibly agree with like morality is subjective, but objectively we need morality to function as a sentient society.
Morality to function.
Ooh, that's good, Axel.
As a sentient. Well, no, as a society of sentient people, of sentient individuals.
I mean, this is like highly contentious. I mean, whether morality is subjective. Some claim it is objective. I'm not sure about that.
You're saying morality is subjective based on personal feelings or opinions, but then also claiming objectively as a fact that we need morality. That's like saying ice cream flavors are just personal preference, but chocolate is objectively the best. No, I don't think that's the good example.
That's not what you're saying, though. That's
Yeah.
not what. So I think it needs to be rephrased, in a way.
Yeah, I think the objectively. I think objectively is the key.
Just correct it by saying wants are not. We don't. Wants are not needs, but we need wants. Is kind of what I would.
Wants are not needs, but we need wants.
After that, can I read something out that ChatGPT's just said to me?
Well, I mean, you have to ask them, like, if you care about subjectivity or objectivity, you have to ask them whether it's like mind dependent or mind independent.
Yeah, I think.
I think it just had that. I think we.
What are we trying to do right now? What are we trying to do right now?
I just wanted to test the limitations to see if it would be argue just to argue, or if there would actually be some agreement.
We tested that. We tested the prompt, and we put in an argument, and it returned no fallacies. So we put in an argument of the difference between living beings, sentient beings, and it said it's coherent. So I think you need to be like more precise, Axel, and it might return, because
you have to be very descriptive.
Yeah, it's kind of like a placate of a sentence.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like when you make such general statements, it's like basically saying that the word need is not being cleared up what it means, right? So in the same sentence, it's morality is subjective, and then it has a problem with the word objective and the use together. But what you're saying is that morality is, let's try it this way. Morality is subjective.
Subjective, but it's an objective fact that you need morality to. That's
Wait,
how I would say.
I want to be even clearer. Morality has subjective axioms, but the rules that derive from it are universal. I wouldn't even say objective.
Yeah, but that's not what Axel is trying to say.
Yeah, I know what Axel is trying to say. I want to add on top of that.
Hold on, let's
people?
Yeah, no, we hear you, but let's just let Chip cook for a second. Let's let him cook.
But I think that's not what you're trying to say, even, Axel. I think what you're trying to say.
It's true. It's true, but I just want to I want to just test the boundaries of the. Because clearly it's not, like, we can rephrase it, but I do want to just get it.
So morality has subjective axioms, but the rules that derive from it are universal. We need morality in order to create a society that
is as just to all sentient beings as possible.
Is as just to as many individuals as possible, I would say. I don't want to add sentient.
Chill had a good statement too in chat.
I'd quite like to be able to add something at some point if I could.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let me try this one first, and then we'll try yours. I'm curious if this one says. Begging the question, you're saying we need morality to build a society, but just already assumes a moral idea. Fair, that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's difficult to define, right? It's difficult to make the statement without to define it objectively. But yeah, go on, Chill. Let's try yours, Chill.
And maybe we can let Dave have at it as well.
Shall I try your claim, Chill Slug? I think you put it in the... A claim of objective morality needs to be substantiated. Morality is assigned by thinking agents. Sound moral frameworks start with subjective axiom that can be used to derive objective necessary conclusions. Actually, this is a pretty good one. Yeah. Category error. You say morality is assigned by thinking agents, which makes it subjective, but then say you can derive objective conclusions from it.
I think we should replace the word objective universal and it.
Yeah, that's the thing about this. That's the problem with this, is that I don't think large language models are trained enough on this kind of things. And when I think though, as you said,
limitation.
Yeah,
I think it's just a limitation.
I think the words.
Try to replace objective with universal and see what happens.
A claim of universal morality needs to be substantiated. Morality is assigned by thinking agents. Shall we continue that?
Yeah, but like to derive objective, to replace objective at the end as well.
And just to derive.
It's not the same as objective.
Oh, okay.
Necessary conclusions.
Yeah.
It's a little general.
I also don't think it's gonna. I still think that's gonna be issues. Yeah, equation on non-universal. Yeah, that's the problem. It's the wording. It's very difficult to define. Like what we're trying to say essentially in this whole statement. What we're trying to say is that yes, morality is subjective, but we need some. Okay, let's put it this way: morality is subjective. Damn it, is subjective, but we need some form of a social contract to agree
I wouldn't use that. That's
what the rules of it are. I'm sure it's gonna find a lot of errors, but we found so many errors in everything. Why not give this one a try? But to agree on what the rules of it are.
Conan, it's not bullshit. It's just like the position should be very strong.
In order for everyone to benefit.
Exactly the same for everything. Exactly the same quote-unquote
I don't think so.
fallacies
We
for
tested
everything.
it pretty strictly, and it did. When we were like very it told us there are no fallacies. So
Yeah.
it's not able to say there are no fallacies.
But wait a minute. But even in your one of your statement, it said that it is there was no fallacy, right? If I remember correctly, Conan. In your statement, this one, just because you don't like something doesn't change whether it is right or wrong. See, this is a valid and sound statement.
Not my statement.
Oh, this is exactly the statement you made. No, this is a statement you made.
It is a copy-paste of ChatGPT's response.
Brother, just because you don't like something doesn't change whether it is right or wrong. We did it at the beginning of this stream.
Yeah.
Are you denying that you made that claim?
That was the response that GPT gave.
No, this is what we sent it.
If you have a recording of this, you can rewatch it.
The response that ChatGPT said, it is not morally preferable to be... No, you said it is not morally preferable to be vegan because I don't like it.
Read.
Yeah, and then there was the appeal to personal preference. And then you made the statement, but this Conan doesn't matter because this statement right here proves the fact that you can make a statement that has no fallacies in it, right? The statement, just because you don't like something doesn't change whether it is right or wrong, is a statement where there are no fallacies in it. But either way, I don't want to... The whole point of it, like as we've done this now, as we've done it with everybody else, the whole point isn't to... Like, we don't trust every fallacy that ChatGPT says, right? That's not the point. We question it also, as you saw, when we got some fallacies from ChatGPT, we questioned them. But the whole point about it is to at least understand that some of the arguments against veganism are as easy as simply pasting them in ChatGPT and getting a response from them and understanding that that's fallacious. Sure, not all of them are that way. Sure, sometimes it's a little bit more complex, but a lot of them are as easy as just pasting them in ChatGPT.
And by the way, we're doing this so that people can improve their argument, right? So we always give the opportunity for the person to change their argument to not be fallacious.
I think why don't you just show them, right? Like Chip, why don't you just put in your argument on why you are vegan and just show that are there any fallacies?
Okay. I'm vegan because there is no morally significant difference between human beings and animals that justifies
Yeah, I asked him as well that question.
justify exploiting one but not the other. I oppose human exploitation. Therefore, I should logically oppose animal exploitation also. No fallacies found. There you go.
Now, what you also could answer, what you could also ask is, like, would a human survive the reductio of any particular animal if they are being reduced to that animal, or something like that, basically? And they would say no. In principle,
I also don't understand it.
sorry, what?
What are you actually saying, Val? Okay.
But either way, I think like I think this sums it up in a nutshell, right? And of course this derives a little bit more, like you can say, well, if I don't have any other options but exploiting a human being, then, and you need to exploit a human being to survive, then is it moral? Probably not, but you might do it because you need it to survive, you know, so it's justified in a sense. But the basis of it, I think, like, this is a pretty good one, logically.
Somebody put, Allah said that a slave is equal to its master.
A slave is equal to its master?
It doesn't have, yeah, it doesn't eat. A slave is equal to its master. So now humans are eat as well. Interesting. That has nothing to do with veganism, so...
I don't even understand the whole claim. I'm not vegan because a slave is equal to its master?
No, I don't know if that's the claim. We should ask. Not the Swedish government. Can you make an argument?
Yeah, that's a pretty confusing statement.
Well,
there,
because it doesn't have an argument. That's why it's
Right.
just a statement of either factual or not factual. To have an argument, you need to say Allah said that a slave is equal to their master, and therefore something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be relevant to the question, why are you not vegan?
Yeah. Oh, I just found Jesus. Now I'm talking like I own it. But I went through the night of the chat in this Discord, and there is like an appeal to Muslims to be vegan on what's his name's channel? Sorry, David Rams's channel.
Wait, I got a statement in my chat that we hear often. We're omnivores. We eat both.
Okay.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? That's the username. Let's see. Well, Appeal to nature, saying we're omnivores, we eat both, assumes that because something is natural, it's automatically right. But just because we can do something doesn't mean we should. For example, humans can be violent too. That doesn't make violence okay. That's a good one. Is ought fallacy. This mixes up what is with what ought to be. Just because humans do eat both plants and animals doesn't mean it's morally okay to do so. It skips the step to justifying why it's ethical. And circular reasoning. If someone says we eat animals because we're omnivores, and we're omnivores because we eat animals, they're going in a circle. I'm not sure if that's what you were trying to do, so maybe we'll skip the idea of circular reasoning. But the appeal to nature is good one, and the is odd fallacy is good one. Oh, I have another one. Show me a vegan indigenous tribe. This is already a red herring. It's a red herring from the start, I would say. But let's see. What's your guess, VPM? So I guess red herring. What else is there?
Appeal to tradition or appeal to nature. One of those.
Nature. Yeah, both.
Both.
I don't think it's to nature. I would say maybe tradition. Oh shit! Wait, I'm searching ChatGPT now. No, informal fallacies here. This one.
Yeah,
okay,
that would be a mistake. If we just let it roam freely.
No. Oh wait, it's actually taking the instructions. Okay. I'll make it as a statement because I see it's understanding it as an instruction. So I'm not vegan because I haven't seen any vegan indigenous tribe. Indigenous tribe, sorry. My English is...
Yeah, that's fine.
Appeal to nature.
Imagine, like,
appeal to nature. This fallacy says if something...
Hinges...
Go on, Val.
Imagine like your philosophical position hinges upon like what like tribes people do.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Through another argument. Let's go back to that one. I'm curious. Okay. 84% of vegans and vegetarians revert, so most of the emotional people bent out of shape will be back to eating the meat. My God.
Where is he pulling these stats out?
It's funny. At home. Oh wait.
Quit exercise.
Appeal to popularity. I love it. This is actually an appeal to popularity. This says most people stop being vegan, so it must not be worth doing. Exactly. But just because a lot of people quit doing doesn't mean the right thing to quit. A lot of people drop out of school too. Does that mean education is bad? Ad hominem. This attacks people instead of the argument. Calling vegan emotional people bent out of shape doesn't address whether veganism is ethical or not. Yeah. It's just name calling. It's like saying, don't listen to her idea about saving animals. She cries too much. Non sequitur. This means the conclusion doesn't follow. Just because people revert doesn't mean veganism is wrong. Exactly. It's like saying most people stop going to the gym, so exercise must be useless. That doesn't logically follow. And appeal to futility. This implies because many fail, it's not worth trying. That's like saying most people don't stick with learning an instrument, so no one should even try to play the guitar. The fact that something is hard doesn't mean it's wrong or pointless. And FYI, adopting a plant-based diet, which is what most people think being vegan is, it's not hard. But I actually really loved everything that ChatGPT said for this one.
Yeah, it was just
after we're done with arguing with non-vegans, I kind of want to try to create some, like, from previous discussions and create some arguments from previous discussions.
Yeah.
If we're okay.
Yeah, most of these are just pulling from vegan sources for the arguments that I've already seen.
So the 84% thing comes from a Phonolytics study where they combine vegans and vegetarians. That study is not... I won't talk too much. It's a survey. It's not the best one. I wouldn't trust it I wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't trust it based on that. It's an indicative.
I wouldn't trust that definition of veganism. It's dieting.
Well, I was just talking about the appeal to futility one. Definitely that 84% study was flawed, but
Yeah, I mean, the appeal to futility is a good one. And that person that dropped that comment is now saying, I'd still like to know how you're so emotional. I'm just relaying the facts. Feel free to Google it and research it. You would have thought you had given up how upset you are. Hola, ¿cómo estás? I think that's an ad hominem right there. Yeah, do you want to come and join us? Because there's a link in the description of this video, and you can come and make your case if you want. And you know what? We'll do you a favor. We won't even use ChatGPT. We'll debate you without ChatGPT if you want.
You can look up, let's see if ChatGPT will say it's blame shifting. Because that's generally what happens. There's a lot of what happens is blame shifting when you confront people. And there's the
They
one
also
that
didn't acknowledge all of the fallacies that they made.
Yeah, so somebody says, I've debated ChatGPT for fun and it usually makes an inconsistency which it accepts too. And therefore anything it initially marks as fallacious or inconsistent may be an inconsistent claim itself. So that's actually a fallacy when you're saying that. Just because ChatGPT sometimes makes up things doesn't mean that everything that ChatGPT says is wrong. So.
But also we give you the opportunity to change your position.
Yeah.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, and also saying that ChatGPT is most of the time wrong is also like a genetic fallacy as well.
Yeah, it's a hasty generalization.
Yeah, that as well. Yeah, because you are judging the source rather than the argument.
Yeah.
But let's see. Solo Estas replied again. See, this is why you should keep emotional appeal tour of it if you are in the silly echo chamber with blinders on. Go ahead and read it yourself. I'm not your monkey. I've quoted already. Okay, I'm actually curious what ChatGPT is going to say to this one.
That's why when Chip put his vegan position into ChatGPT, it returned with
ad hominem,
right? Because it's so emotional. It's like actually like the most logical thing that was today.
I love it. Strawman. I didn't even think about it, but it is indeed a strawman because this represents the other side while acting like they're only making emotional appeals or refusing to read. That's actually true. Tone policing also. Why are you tone policing us? Focuses on how someone talks instead of what they're saying. That is true. False attribution. Saying go ahead and read it by yourself, I've quoted already, while not actually giving a clear or relevant source makes it seem like the burden is on others to find your proof, even if it wasn't given. Man, I mean, so far ChatGPT is doing great, huh?
Yeah.
This is the new meta, guys. Like, this is it. This is how we deal with burnout. We let the trolls just make them look stupid with ChatGPT.
The problem is that ChatGPT indeed from time to time invents things, right? So we gotta try to make it avoid that. So we have to make it like our instructions were not clear enough, but if you keep adding instructions and keep saying, hey, don't invent stuff, don't make things up if there's nothing, like you got to be as clear and as possible. And I think like if you make the clear instructions 100% clear, like where there's absolutely no going around, then you might end up in a point where, yes, indeed, ChatGPT might be able to just have conversations with people in the chat without us doing anything. Yeah. So yeah, let's try a couple more conversations with ChatGPT and then let's debate somebody normally because I miss thinking. This is just me pasting comments. Somebody says ChatGPT sucks. Use Grok. Say it again, Silver.
I'm using Grok. No, sorry, go on. I'm using Grok. I'm putting some of the non-vegan stuff on the stream, but don't let it distract you.
Yeah, wait. Richard says, if you think eating meat is immoral, you need to tell us where your morals come from. Ooh, this is a good one.
Yeah, let's put it in.
1 second, because the comment... By the way, I'm using my left hand to copy-paste stuff and move my mouse. And I'm not a lefty, so...
What's your right hand doing, Chip?
It's here. No, I got used to using my left hand for my trackpad for a while now. In an attempt to train it, I got used to my left hand. Burden of proof shift. You're asking the person who opposes harm to justify their morals, but not asking the same of the person causing them. Imagine someone says, I think stealing is wrong, and you respond, well, where do your morals come from? Instead of just asking why stealing might be bad, you're dodging the topic by shifting the focus. I would agree to that. I would say that that's maybe a red herring. That distracts from the original question, is eating meat immoral, by changing the subject to where morals come from. It's like someone says you shouldn't litter, and you reply, well, who says that right or wrong anyway? Who says what's right or wrong anyway? That doesn't answer whether littering is harmful. It just sidesteps the issue. That's a good one. That's true.
No, both
Yeah,
of
yeah.
those don't apply.
Yes, they do, and I can explain why. Because you see, the whole point of the reason why it is a red herring is because when we're saying that exploiting innocent animals is wrong, it doesn't. We're not saying that it depends on where your morality comes from, or that it depends on what moral values you have. It's essentially a statement that comes from saying, from the basis that most people would say exploiting humans is wrong, therefore exploiting animals should be wrong also. It's pretty simple. That's where the basis comes from. As I said before, why I'm vegan. There is no morally relevant difference between human beings and animals that justifies the difference in view.
If somebody makes a moral claim and appeals to morality, it is perfectly fine to ask for you to explain.
There is no appeal to morality over here.
Yes, it is. This is the question.
No.
If you say that it is immoral to eat meat, then you need to explain your moral stance. That is perfectly fine.
No,
Also,
because yet again, I don't think where your moral stance comes from matters. Yet again, I will ask you, if you think it's immoral to exploit human beings, then the logical conclusion would be that it is immoral to exploit animals also, for the same reason. I don't have to even, I don't even have to know why you think exploiting human beings is wrong. I don't even have to know where you got that from. All I have to know is, if you know that, then exploiting animals is what follows. So when we say exploiting animals is wrong, it's a shorthand for saying, if you think exploiting humans is wrong, then exploiting animals is also wrong. But if you think exploiting humans is right, I mean, that's kind of fucked up, but, we'll challenge it a little bit, but there's nothing we can do about that.
That's not how it works, but...
That's not how it works. So you think the statement that if it's wrong to exploit humans, then it should be wrong to exploit animals is fallacious?
Yes.
Okay, so do you want me to put it in ChatGPT?
Yeah, just put whatever you want in there.
Okay, so if exploiting humans is wrong, then exploiting animals should also be wrong, because there is no morally significant difference between the two that justifies the difference in view.
Let's try something.
No fallacy. Here you go.
Let's try copy the same thing. Copy the same thing again.
But if you're trying something else, that is not my statement. Do you understand that, right?
Yeah, but I want to test something. Copy it all the same.
Okay.
Paste.
Can you tell me what you want to write? I will paste when I want to paste, but you have to tell me what you want to write.
I need to see it to tweak it.
Okay.
Okay. If exploiting humans is okay, is wrong, then exploiting animals. Okay. Remove then and remove if.
But that's not my statement. I don't know what this isn't my statement. I don't know what this is. Exploiting humans is wrong.
I'm not saying it's your statement.
If you want, I can say, therefore, exploiting animals should also be wrong.
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to tweak your statement. Never mind.
But it seems like you're trying to tweak exactly my statement. You said copy-paste my statement, put it in the chat, and you change it. That's literally tweaking my statement.
Yeah, I just wanted to use it.
It's gonna be a wrong statement, so it's gonna
Yeah.
I was not trying to strawman you. I was just trying to basically ask it.
Yeah. I have a good example. I have an even better example, because this is actually very pertinent to our debates. Ask ChatGPT, maybe afterwards, whether you can compare humans to animals can you make a comparison between human and animals? Or something along those lines. You know where I'm getting at, Chip, I guess, right?
So you cannot compare humans to animals. I think that's the statement that most people make.
Statement, yeah.
Well, yes, you can.
Of course you can, yeah. Bare assertion fallacy. This is when someone says something is true without giving any reason or explanation. Saying you cannot compare humans to animals without explaining why assumes the conclusion without proving it. It's like saying I'm right because I said so. So let's I'll give you, you know what? Let's do this for the statement, because this statement, I feel like it is indeed incomplete and we shouldn't be using it. I think when most people say you cannot compare humans to animals, they actually mean because humans are superior, right? Because humans have built the world or society, right? Whatever, / society. And humans are obviously more intelligent. I think this is a pretty clear statement that most people make, right?
Right.
Is it clear enough, or should I add more to it? I don't want to strawman their argument. You cannot compare humans to animals because humans are superior, because humans have built the world / society, and humans are obviously more intelligent. Let's see. Appeal to superiority, a form of might makes right. This is saying something is right just because one side is more powerful or capable. Saying humans are more intelligent and build society, so it's okay to exploit animals, is like saying I'm smarter and stronger than you, so I get to hurt you. That's not how we decide what's right. Or we'd say it's okay for stronger humans to exploit weaker ones too. Speciesism. This is like racism or sexism, but about species. Treating somebody unfairly just because they're not part of your species. Saying animals deserve worse treatment only because they're not human is unfair, unless you give a good moral reason that makes the difference matter. It's like saying only people who look like me deserve rights. Exactly. Non sequitur. This means the conclusion doesn't actually follow from the reason. Yes, humans are more intelligent, but intelligence alone doesn't mean you can be exploited. A baby or someone with a disability might not be able to build a society, but we still don't think it's okay to exploit them. And bonus analogy, imagine an alien species way smarter than humans came to Earth and said, we're more intelligent and built better stuff, so we'll eat you now. Would that be fair?
Damn, ChatGPT dropping some truth.
I mean, it feels like ChatGPT kind of wants to join our conversation here.
Yeah.
Can you try just saying, I am not triggered for moral and justified reason? I want to see what you will answer.
Well, it's gonna tell you that you didn't explain what reasons are.
For moral and?
Justified
reasons.
I don't think you understand.
Justified.
For morally justified. Okay.
Of course, it's fallacy.
It's a vague claim, yeah. You need to mention the reasons. I don't think you understand how this works.
Well, I think Conan doesn't understand how
morality works in the, yeah. The same person who says that it's moral to rape, yeah.
But frankly, I don't think Conan doesn't understand. I think Conan
is intellectually lazy.
Yeah.
I think Conan thinks morality is only the conclusion that we draw from taking axioms and applying logic to them and deriving all those. Like Conan thinks that morality is strictly a set of conclusions. This is moral, this isn't moral. This is moral, this isn't moral. And his justification for why something is moral or why something isn't moral, your justification, Conan, for all of this, because normally when people ask themselves, well, why do I think this is moral? Why do I think this is not moral? The reason why I call it intellectual laziness is because all you did from there is say, well, it's not moral because I don't like it. It's moral because I like it. That's your whole justification. That's essentially it. But you didn't ask yourself, why is it that I don't like it? Why is it that I like this, but I don't like that? They're pretty similar. Why is it that I'm okay with animal exploitation, but not human exploitation? Aren't they both horrible? Like, you don't ask yourself that, so that's why it's intellectual laziness.
If they're both horrible, you just ask yourself, do I dislike them both or not? Do you understand what you are saying? We can discuss why we feel certain things, but that is not a philosophical discussion.
Don't make a hasty generalization. Don't make a hasty generalization. Yeah, you'd say about vegans, we're not all vegans say the same thing, first of all, and we're animal rights activists. So you haven't talked to all vegans, or you don't even know what position most vegans hold. You know how some animal rights activists hold a certain position here.
I said, when you said you need to ask yourself if they are both horrible, I just said that it is simply you are trying to re-examine your feelings. And I said, if we are discussing why do we have certain feelings, that is not a philosophical discussion. That is a psychological discussion.
It's not about feelings, yeah. Yeah, liking something or not liking something isn't about feelings, by the way. It's
It is.
No, it is not. There is. Yeah, so there are feelings indeed associated with liking and unliking, but the feelings associated with liking and unliking are the consequences of you liking or unliking something.
What do you mean there are consequences?
It means that you liking comes before the feelings, then the feeling comes. Because you like bread, you get a good feeling when you eat bread. It's not you get a good feeling because you don't get a good feeling first and then you like it. You understand?
I didn't claim you are mixing feelings with pleasure.
But we already talked to you. You already said rape is moral if somebody likes to rape. So let's not continue the conversation with you because that is clearly a weird position to have.
So, pardon me, so Chipman, that sounds like Epicureanism, which is just an untenable position. So, what I'll ask you instead is, it sounds like you were saying something about preference being elective, and that, like, because preference is elective, it comes before sensation. It's like, that was kind of weird. That
I'm sorry, I don't mean to make a... I don't know enough about this to mention what I mean. Like, I don't think everything that you like comes before the feelings, or every feeling comes before what you like. I don't think I can make a general or definitive statement that would be applicable to all situations about this. No, so I don't mean it that way. I think that is one of the... What I mean to say is that this liking and liking something or not liking something doesn't necessarily have to imply emotions. And in my own opinion is that the emotions come after you have made a statement, whether you like them or not.
Oh, it's kind of in my opinion, it's kind of a nonsensical way to like even try to figure out our emotions.
Yeah.
It's probably at some point liking something is an antecedent to our emotions or to our preferences, and the other it's the consequent, and then we'll go round and round it goes, right? We're complex beings for a reason. We don't just like come from one preference to one conclusion. We keep going, right, and like perfecting that conclusion, that preference. But it's all like just like speculative, right? Fucking, who cares even?
I see somebody asking yet again where my morality comes from, and I repeat: if you think exploiting if you think exploiting humans is wrong, I don't care where your morality comes from. That's not the point.
Why do you think exploiting humans is wrong, Chip?
Well, that doesn't matter. That doesn't interact with the proposition. The
exactly.
Proposition is if you prefer not to exploit humans, then exploiting animals also is immoral. It's an if it's a then proposition. So.
And if you ask me why is exploiting humans wrong, it's the same reason why exploiting animals is wrong.
Well, what is the reason?
They're sentient beings.
Why sentience matters?
Because that means they can feel the exploitation being done to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's circular.
What?
Chip, do you have my answer
to
this question from a couple of days ago?
No.
So let me. So the thing is, obviously, at some point, if you want to argue what is ethical, right, we have to agree on the definition at some point, because otherwise it will always beg the question, right? So again, I told you before, Conan, in my view at least, if ethics is concerned about good and bad behavior, goodness and badness has to be related to something else, right? And I would argue it is in general about the well-being of at least someone, in my opinion, right? You have to care about the well-being, in my opinion, right? And if that is true, right, and maybe there are also some other governing principles, but if it is connected to well-being, then it's just a matter, okay, is it maybe connected to the individual or to a group or to both, right? But in that sense, if it's about well-being, then sentience seems to be connected to that, right? Because only sentient beings can care about good behaviors and bad behaviors, right?
I mean,
That's
only
the issue.
sentient beings can have moral, can have inherent moral value in a sense, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and I do mean
Exactly.
inherent
Everything
moral.
else is just
Sorry,
yeah.
intrinsic moral
Yeah,
value. That's
everything
what I
else
meant.
is yeah, exactly. And everything else is just instrumentally good or bad. So like let's say a stone or a church or nature. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Val, there is like the hissing sound from your mic as well. But Chip, how much would it fuck up your live stream if I went away? Because I have to like actually deal with like the insurance claim from my accident.
You have to go.
I think it's dire. What I can do is like
If you
just like
have to
turn
go,
the camera off.
no,
And,
you
like mute.
if you want to go. I'll just continue like having conversations on Discord. That's okay.
Yeah, but is it gonna fuck up your live streams? Is the question.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Then thank you very much.
By the way,
guys.
before you go, everybody, please follow Vegan Postmortem. They do an amazing job.
Subscribe on YouTube, Chip.
Damn it, subscribe. Thank you. Oh, let me put in the link for your YouTube channel.
All right. I appreciate it. This was an incredible amount of fun. I thought it would be, right? Very interesting, very educational. Even if ChatGPT once in a while kind of hallucinates a little bit, it kind of assumes once in a while. But other than that, I think it's done a good job. I think we've done a good job. And it was an incredible amount of fun. If you guys enjoyed it, the Vegans in Better channel, let us know. We'll do it again at some point.
Ray, before you go, you said you will show instructions you gave to ChatGPT.
Oh yeah. Let me show you the instructions.
Chip is not going. I'm going. So.
Yeah. By VPM. Remember to follow VPM. I'll show you the instructions that I give.
I'm driving right now, but I will end the event as soon as I can.
Okay, if there are I'll still remain to debate some people, by the way. If there are informal fallacies in the arguments that I present to you for or against veganism, please tell me what they are. If the argument is generally valid and sound, then okay it. If you're unsure of something within the statement or context, please ask to clarify. I want then to use the response in chat on Discord. Make it a list with tiles of the fallacies, and then under each, make sure that you explain as if that person was a 5th grader, maybe with an example if needed. And not too long. I don't need the intro or the suggestion at the end, just the list. Yeah, let me stop sharing on Discord and let's have some conversations. Okay.
Yeah, I'll also be leaving in like 20 minutes.
Everybody's leaving. Does anybody want to have a conversation with me on veganism after we looked at the logical fallacies of veganism?
I really wanted to argue with ChatGPT on the Muslim perspective. God telling me that animals are here for us and stuff like that. I was really, but we can do that another time.
We can do it next time.
In fact, you can talk to ChatGPT anytime you want. It doesn't have to be here.
Well, I know, but I was just okay.
I think Axel was just trying to prove a point that if you bring up the arguments from God, you can also use ChatGPT to, look through them. Yeah. So does everybody agree with the idea that if you're not vegan, you are supporting needless animal exploitation?
I love it
Go on,
with the
why?
provocative question. It definitely inflamed me the last time I was here, but Chip, you
Yes, I
recall that
agree.
we had a discussion recently. Jesus Christ. You know what? Never mind. You go ahead. The latter half of my sentence was so unimportant that I'd much rather hear the beginning of yours.
Can you say that again? I'm
Bro,
sorry for somebody
yeah,
interrupting you.
sometimes there's a delay. Just yeah, go on.
It's fine. I don't know. I'm in rare form this morning. So you recall that we had a discussion recently.
Yeah, me
Chip,
does that.
Ignore him. Please go on.
Sorry.
Where we had a discussion recently where I went away basically saying, sure, I'll go and look into how to accomplish this whole plant-based diet thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've now looked into it significantly, and this weekend, I'm currently trying to plan my big trip to the grocery store this weekend.
Hell yeah.
And I'm looking, so normally I'd be going this weekend, and there are a lot of things that I would buy that are decidedly not vegan or plant-based. And some of these I'm really dearly going to miss. Like ice cream, for instance. I'm going to
There's
miss the
vegan
fuck
ice
out of
cream.
ice cream. I understand. And I've had a great deal of ice cream substitutes. And I think you're aware of the fact that like they're always substitutes. They're not like it's always ersatz.
No.
There's actually a vegan ice cream that uses yeast to produce the casein and whey proteins. It's exactly the same.
If you live in US, you can look for bored cow products or products coming from, I forgot the name of the company, but yes, indeed, they use precision fermentation to create casein and whey, and they create products from them. But even if I have seen ice cream is not like dairy is not inherent to ice cream. There was dairy-free ice cream even before. Ice cream is, I wouldn't say vegan ice cream or plant-based ice cream is a substitute of real ice cream. They're both real ice creams.
It's just separate things, yeah. I get you. What did you say that brand was?
Bored Cow is the
Look in the side chat. It's called Brave Robot.
Oh, that's for the ice cream, Brave Robot. Bored Cow is literally dairy milk.
Yeah, you can.
Also,
if you don't have it at your local grocery store, you could order it online and have it to your house by the weekend. I'm sure. Well, maybe.
Ben and Jerry also makes good alternatives. Sorry for interrupting you.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's like even though they are substitutes, like the point is that you just enjoy them, right? And there are good ice cream, even though it might not be exactly the same taste. Like these cravings will go away, and it will be easy as long as you just find yourself something that you enjoy as a replacement.
Right, and the issue I'm having is just that I'm like currently trying to put on weight because I generally in the winter I go into a huge depression. Quit everything I'm doing and shed all the weight off my body. It's really terrible.
Time to go on Facecam. Turn on your video.
No, go on. I'll tell me. And what's the issue with getting weight?
Well, no, it's just that I'm trying to increase the calorie count of my diet while now also trying to make a change in it. So it just requires an additional degree of thought. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so if I can give you some advice, actually this is the advice that I give everybody who should go vegan or should adopt a plant-based diet. Take fiber, not take fiber, the fiber part of your meals, look after it, because I don't know what kind of diet you had before or how most people eat before adopting a plant-based diet. But if they start eating fiber, they're either going to feel bloated instantly if they haven't eaten fiber before. So make sure that your fiber intake is in line with kind of what you had before, right? So just increase it step by step, the fiber intake. So that means maybe in the first few days, instead of going directly on a whole food plant-based diet, just, have some not so like a little bit of processed food and stuff, just to get used to a little bit more fiber as you go, because otherwise you'll feel bloated. You won't feel good because you'll feel really bloated, because fiber, that's what it does. It's food for the gut.
Yeah, but also I think, but I also think, like, again, if you want to gain weight, right, because you lose a lot during the winters, as you said, that is usually more of like an energy intake issue. Now you could facilitate your goal by simply perhaps increasing the amount of processed and ultra processed foods. Now I'm not necessarily recommending it. You could also do it healthily by, again, maybe adding some oils or peanut butter or nuts and seeds, right? Or as Chip said, although that didn't go to that direction necessarily, if you reduce your fiber, you probably also going to eat a little bit more. So let's say instead of eating lentils, you could eat rice, let's say, or pasta.
Fiber makes you feel full faster.
Yeah,
If you're trying
exactly,
to bulk
exactly.
up, if you're trying to bulk up, it's usually peanut butter and potatoes. A lot of bodybuilders, like when they go through their bulk phases, they'll bulk on potatoes. Generally, what you're doing is deregulating your gut microbiome to hold weight more readily.
Yeah, although I would say that in isolation, I think potatoes are actually pretty satiating if you eat them,
Yeah,
without
that's what
oil.
I was trying to say, is that like the last, like I only remember like potatoes being used to lose weight, not gain weight.
Yeah.
Because
Right, but
they're set.
I'm telling you, bodybuilders use mashed potatoes to bulk.
Oh, mashed potatoes. Okay, well there's different ingredient. There's. Go ahead.
Let's let him speak
I was-
like for a second afterwards. Like you make your statement, Axel, and then let's let him speak for a second. Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say there's different ingredients within mashed potatoes that make it bulky. But if you're like, there's different ingredients in mashed potatoes that make it bulky.
Doesn't make it make more sense. Saying it louder doesn't make it make more sense.
No, I'm just talking about potatoes that are mashed. Not.
But you have to put ingredients for mashed potatoes. There's other ingredients.
If I
that are
mash a
with mashed
potato, if I mash a potato and I don't put butter in it, it's still mashed potatoes, right?
Yeah, but it increases satiety. It decreases satiety. Decreases satiety. Sorry, it decreases satiety. The level of processing actually plays a huge. Yeah, so the level of processing obviously plays a role in satiety, right? If I eat strawberries raw versus blended, it makes a difference, of course. Yeah, because chewing actually signals to the brain that a food is being processed, which is why eating nuts versus peanut butter is arguably also more satiating.
Nuts?
Even if, so eating nuts versus, like, let's say if I eat like
nuts.
Can you?
Dude, don't. Let's don't, bro.
Let's be grown up, please.
These nuts?
Bro, my God, dude. Children.
Yeah. Let's not say we did. How about that?
Yeah, so in other words, like the level of processing plays a role in satiety, yeah.
Well, regardless of satiety, you can smash a bunch of potatoes down your gullet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You may find that you'll still have potatoes smashed down your gullet in either case.
Do you have any other
problems other than the inconvenience of it?
Dude, there's no inconvenience. There is no.
Egg is saying it's going to be inconvenient to them. Egg saying it's going to be a little bit inconvenient. So I understand.
Hold on. I didn't
it's
say
not.
you weren't inconvenient ever. Not even once. I don't know where you're getting
You said it was
from.
going to be a bit harder, right?
No, I said it was going to require an additional degree of mental effort to come up with a solution to this issue, not that it was going to be any more or less inconvenient to actually go through with it.
Well, if something were to be harder, that would be inconvenient, right?
Okay, so you're now going to ask me whether or not I'm going to experience the level of difficulty that I'm saying I am? Like,
yeah, that would be, inconvenient.
Cool. Well, I appreciate your semantic contribution to this discussion.
Right. Enjoy your potatoes.
Wow. You know, it's really just the warm, welcoming embrace of this community that makes me want to continue speaking about this.
Wait. Let's not escalate this, please, Dardy. Please wait. He's trying.
No, it's okay.
Obviously,
No,
when
it's
you're
already escalated. That's fine.
just want to be clear, when you're on the other side, what everybody else is saying is that when you're on the other side of it, it can seem hard, but the reality is after you pass it, you no longer is hard. But I understand that it can seem hard on your part, and the fact that you are trying, we appreciate it. So let's not make a bigger deal out of this than it is, okay? Let's just go for it. So do you have any other issues with this?
And forgive me, I was just being facetious. I wasn't being serious of what I was saying. I was mostly joking.
Mama.
I'm sorry, I can't see your full name because I'm streaming. E something. Do you have any concerns?
It's egg-based.
Egg-based. Okay, sorry. Egg-based. Do you have any concerns or something that you need help with? Or I understand you think it's hard, but is there anything in particular that you find hard other than bulking, which is eating more calories? Okay, I muted Mido for myself. Okay, he left. Well, you know what? I'm gonna call it, everybody. I think I'm gonna go on the street and have some conversations. I haven't had good. I miss having some conversations. So,
So I wanted to return this and possibly swap it for something else. Okay.
Axel, you're
801.
Okay.
Actually, you're transmitting.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna end this. See you, everybody. Okay, everybody. It was an interesting experiment with ChatGPT. It was a bit slow paced, and I didn't get to think at all, so that was kind of boring for me. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end this stream, then go on the street, have conversations with people. It was an interesting experiment to see how people think, but I'm just gonna go maybe for an hour or two and have some conversations on the street. So I hope to see you again in maybe like 30 minutes or something, okay? And yet again tomorrow. I don't want to quit. I really want to. I feel like I got some really shitty comments in my last one, and now I feel like I want to fight. The way to fight shitty comments is to fight for animals. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna give the shout out also to in the next video because Tone deserves a shout out for being the first one. Okay, I'll be back in 30 minutes with a stream. Okay, where I'll be on the street. I'll see where. Maybe I'll pick a nice place, a different place than this one. Okay, see you soon. Bye.